to a live stream that you did last week. I was appreciative of how you handled a situation where a person who had asked a very long and very conceptual question about the nature of reality and non-duality, instead of attempting to answer him on his terms without missing a beat, you were able to acknowledge the uncomfortable energy that you were feeling in your body and spoke to the fact that you energetically felt that he was being fundamentally aggressive or wanting to control you, where you set a boundary and did not take his question. Can you please speak to how to more fully trust and respond directly to the basic underlying energy in a situation beneath appearances? Essentially, when this involves setting a boundary in the moment, I often don't fully realize that a boundary has been crossed until there is a situation of already having given too much. As an empath, often there can be a mixture of various feelings in the body that make it hard to respond with courage and decisiveness, such as, for instance, a natural energy to want to be helpful and to connect alongside of a feeling of gut solar plexus discomfort, but not fully clear in this, and fully my own feeling of that of another. Thank you and much appreciation, T. Hey Tamiko, thank you for your question. Yes. Yeah. I think that sometimes I still struggle to set boundaries appropriately with people, especially being a non-dual speaker and being an empath. Like, my tendency is to want to give too much as well. Yeah. I think the key to it all is being conscious of the body, so having the body encompassing experience. So putting the attention into the body and seeing how the body responds, and then also not assuming that you're right. Like, I hope with that question the other day, I can't remember exactly how I responded. I remember the when it happened, but I hope that I also gave the opinion it could just be my stuff, but that's what I felt, and it wasn't necessarily true. Like, it was my feeling, and I tried to own it as much as possible. But it is difficult. I don't want to shame the person, and I'm aware that I might not necessarily be correct in what I feel. Well, I'm correct in what I feel, but in their experience of the way they're behaving. But you've only got your feelings, and you've got to acknowledge your feelings and deal with your feelings. And it didn't feel like I was hating that person or disliking or rejecting that person. It just felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. And that's my prerogative, to feel that. You're allowed to say no when you feel uncomfortable, even if it's not, the other person isn't meaning anything inappropriate or being aggressive. If you feel uncomfortable, you're allowed to acknowledge that and say something to that. But it's all about knowing the body. When you're really identified with this image of yourself, the last thing you want to do is get to know your body, because often your body is in direct contrast to this image that you have of yourself. Your body's also got stored up feelings and stored up stories, so often your body is in confusion as well. It's confused. It's all about the body. The way that we see the world is through the body, is through what's happening. It's through the sensations, it's through the experiences that are happening in the body. You know the world, you see the world through sight, you know it through touch, you only know it through your senses. The body is super important in the equation, but then when you really go into it, you see that there is no body, that this is empty, this is totally empty, there is only everything. So the body is the world, the body is what's happening, it's the body of life. There isn't anybody here, there isn't a solid entity that's inside the body. And as you begin to go more into responding from the body, so letting the body speak, which is life, so letting life speak, you could say, so more that you disappear and that you get out of the way, the body will put up boundaries, and the body, life, will begin to say no. You could call it life. Like life will act through you freely and it will say no. Or yes. Or maybe. Nice, thank you for your question.